What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another powerful episode of the Creative Journal podcast, where we equip you with insights in marketing, creativity, and design to become a better version of your professional self. I am your host, Andy of MMG Design, and I'm stoked to be talking to you guys today on the Creative Journal. This is going to be a special little episode here. We've been going at it really hard. I personally have, with interviewing a ton of people and having a lot of energizing conversations, especially recently, that I feel like I say every time that I step up to this microphone, is that I learn something new, and I'm always pushed outside of my comfort zone in a very positive way. But this podcast has brought a ton of value to my life personally, and I hope I'm transmitting some of that marketing, creative, and business ownership wisdom onto you as well. It has been a while since we've recorded a solo episode, so I want to be unscripted, but I promise there's a lot of value in this episode in terms of the direction of the show in the future, some personal updates on my front. I have a few notes. It's not totally unscripted, so I'm not throwing myself all the way off into the deep end, but I want to talk to you guys and be ultra transparent in terms of my intentions for the show moving forward, because this is very much what I enjoy doing. And I think when we talk about that, that something I've referenced on a lot of episodes in the past is this hedgehog concept by Jim Collins. If you guys have not read the book, Good to Great. By the way, if you guys want to become a more effective version of your professional and creative self, I do have the Creative's Journal the Essential Marketing Reading Database. So I've read over 100 books on marketing, design, business ownership, and creativity. Compiled a list of all the books with backlinks to the Amazon listing, a short summary, and some actionable quotes from each one. That'll be a link in the description if you guys want to check that out. You want to start that reading habit. But when I think about this book from Jim Collins, Good to Great, which is in that database, but we have this like 3-circle Venn diagram, and he talks about like finding the things that you do in a day that really check the center of that 3-circle Venn diagram, with the 3 categories being what you enjoy doing, what you're best in the world at, and what you can be paid a lot of money for. And right now I want the podcast to be that. And sort of as we take the next step, I'm not making this an announcement episode, but the direction of the show will change. And if you guys have noticed, even the past 10 to 15 episodes with some of the guests we've had on, and I want to say that from the beginning, when I started this show almost a year and a half ago, the North Star was always following my own curiosity. If you guys don't know the origin story of the show, I started this when I was working as a graphic designer at an agency job, very entry-level role, and I just would record episodes on the way to and from the hour-and-a-half drive that I had to the office. I was listening to podcasts all day on marketing and business ownership, and I would apply those lessons, to creating my own series. Some of our first episodes were about how to work better in creativity and design. Some of our first interviews, Jeremy Slagle, Matt Vojak, Andy DeVito, were all creative leaders. And that was where the origins of the show started, was following my own curiosity and creative business ownership. And that's what I wanted it to be moving forwards. And as I have gone out throughout my career, I've transitioned to full-time. I now run MMG, which is my personal design web development agency, full-time. As I've grown and matured, the guests I'm starting to interview are reflective of my phase of life. And it's crazy, but there's always the North Star of following that curiosity. And as you guys may have noticed, especially from the most recent episodes, they have been creative leaders in marketing. So people like Meg Adams, Mike Williams, Kirby Hasseman, Michelle Bourbonniere, Sydney Stern, Bruno, Carly Rice, even Kevin Camus, all of these people are marketing leaders. And, as we transition, and I'm at this phase in my life. I personally just moved to a new location. I'm feeling awesome, by the way. Just more of a personal update. I don't love to talk about my personal life on the show as much. I try to make guests a spotlight, but I'm in a really good place right now in terms of just overcoming self-doubt, confidence. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There was a point there when, as a business owner in your first year of business, and you're trying to build an audience, you're trying to put yourself out there. I'm a very transparent in terms of what I share online. Not so much about the personal day-to-day of stuff, but I share vlogs, I share how much I make. I try and put all that stuff out there because I do post videos every day. I have the podcast every week, and trust me, hearing my own voice is a cross to bear weekly. But I put a lot into content, and I want it to be something that fulfills the curiosity of the things that I'm interested in at this phase of life. And right now it looks like a lot of the marketing content. And when I see that hedgehog concept, what crosses all those three boxes for Andy, and how does that manifest itself on the podcast? It looks like design and how it can be effective from a marketing standpoint. I was a marketing graphic designer for my first agency role, and I realized that my differentiator was always looking through creativity and design and UI, UX, branding, all these things through the lens of how it can be advantageous from a marketing standpoint. How does it make dollars and cents? How does it tie into the business plan? That's the thing that I don't think designers and creatives are talking about enough. And I think that's where I set myself apart, not just from my business and, the clients I work with, but just what's going through my head on a day, and that inevitably manifests itself in the questions that I ask to the guests and the audience. It manifests itself in just the texture of my mind throughout the day, and it fires me up, dude. Like, I can dive into branding, the technical aspects of the pixels all day, and transmit that to what is the value that it actually holds for the business. Is it driving their bottom line? Is it just, another marketing expense? How does the Athletic Greens is a company that I've been diving into lately, just how they set up their marketing strategy. And I believe so much in how they set up their branding and their stylistic elements of their advertising across all these different platforms that play into that bottom line. And I'm such a firm believer that the creative plays a huge role in that. And when it's executed well, there is so much ROI on it. And that's what I'm passionate about talking about. So moving forward, a lot of the guests I have been a lot more conscious with. I have about 5 interviews that are in the tank. And these are all marketing leaders that are focused on design. And we have conversations about how the value of design impacts their bottom line, their perspective on marketing, and just getting industry leaders' takes on the future trends, what's working in terms of creative that's actually influencing marketing programs, and what marketing organizations and leaders see to be effective in the future from a brand standpoint, but also just from a visual standpoint, because I think there is a lot of value in knowing the foundation of good design, layout across all platforms, etc. But then there's also the marketing wing of it. And I think just from connecting with all these other leaders in marketing through all these different assets, we've had on agency owners, we've had on video content specialists, we've had on people who have started their own business, we've had on people from SEO, small marketing teams, large marketing teams, independent freelancers that are marketers, people that own their own coaching businesses, and how they market that strategy effectively. We've had on people as big as, Lacey Picasso, who owns just such a big enterprise. And, there's obviously her marketing element in taking that. We've had on SEO content specialists. We've had on, who else, man? I'm looking through all these guests. We've had on, graphic designers, business development reps. We have on, motion studio designers, all these people that, marketing plays a role. And I believe as I introspect and I look at where I want the show to head in the future, again, there are just so many on the edge announcements that I'm looking forward to making here in the future, but continuing to tug on my own thread of curiosity, and especially given the guests that we've had on lately and the guests that I am the most energized talking to, and even talking to friends and family, asking them like, what do you see as my differentiator? When do you see me the most passionate? And also being introspective, looking at that for myself. That is the value proposition. So we've been, toying around with new directions, for the show. Like I said, in the coming weeks, there will be a lot to announce. Nothing to reveal yet in this episode, but I'm very excited and fired up for the future of this show. And I hope you are as well. So a bit of an unscripted episode, I know, but I appreciate you guys hanging with me. If you guys are interested in, a reading database, you want to start that reading habit of yours, become a better marketer, business owner, and entrepreneur for yourself, check out that reading list below. Super grateful for you guys for always tuning in. Again, the show is everything to me, and I want to make it the quality and the value offered out of it as good as I possibly can. So we're implementing more video. There's going to be more clips on there has been more clips on LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. And yeah, this was just kind of a transparent episode of the direction of the show to come. And stay tuned for a lot more of exciting updates from the Creative Journal in terms of the guests, the episodes. Next week, we have on a very exciting interview from a agency owner named Jeremy Mumpower from Conspire Branding in Worthington, Ohio. We talk about his takes on marketing a creative business, setting yourself apart in an industry where the trends in marketing are moving less towards the brand design aspect and more towards the influencer marketing development and arena, and how he's dealt with those challenges, and just lessons from a business owner who has marketed for himself and built a successful enterprise over the last 10 to 15 years. So you guys stay tuned for that episode with Jeremy next week. I'm super excited to talk about that. And like I said, stay tuned for more updates on the direction of the show in the future, because we have some exciting things to share. But yeah, I'm super grateful for you guys. Be a little kinder than you think you have to this week, and we will see you next week. Peace.